This is one of the headlines in this morning's New York Post. Buck and Billy's spring fling. Inside, there's another title that says The Brain Attraction. If you read the story online, it's called Inside the Meticulous Opening of Buck Showalter's First Mets Spring.
I'm not a big turkey
I know you
person.
said that.
How did you come up with the title?
That was the question. How did you come up with 3 titles? And how did you get such great access to Buck, Joel? I mean, you spent a lot of time with him in Port St. Lucie recently. Tell us about the visit.
So, yeah, I've known Buck since 1990. I've known Billy Eppler since about 15, 16 years now. I knew they were going down to St. Lucie. They had been there as visiting players, but in their new capacity as manager and general manager, they'd never been inside the business offices. They'd never been out on the field. As you know, because of the lockout, we don't have a heck of a lot to write about baseball-wise. So I said, if I fly down, can I spend a day or two with you, just kind of trying to see it through your guys' eyes for the first time. They were kind enough to let me do it. And look, especially Buck, I could sit with Buck Showalter and listen to him talk about baseball. I feel like I know a lot more about baseball because when I was an early beat writer, 89 to 95 for the New York Post covering the Yankees, he was either a coach or the manager for 6 of those 7 years. And, you know, if you're going to get a PhD in baseball, you could get it from Buck Showalter because he could talk about a batting cage for a half hour and I'd find it fascinating. So I found it fascinating to be down there and just see the complex through his eyes.
Now, you used the term in one of your titles, because I know you wrote the Spring Fling one too. You used the word meticulous. I think that if anybody knows Buck Showalter, and I know in this managerial search and when Buck was not managing in the big leagues, people would assume a little bit more, okay, old school, not the information guy. No. He is every bit the information guy and probably wants more information than most people.
Absolutely, and just for the record, of course, I don't write the headlines. Yeah, Billy, I think it's silly to think that Buck Showalter wouldn't want information. I was a young beat writer 30 years ago. He kept all kinds of data on his own before it was available on computers, analytics, to try to gain an edge. Buck Showalter wants an edge. You know, Buck Showalter's walking the field, and he's noticing there's not like foot signs on all the practice fields for how far the fences are. And he's like, obviously we need these things so that when the players can have some perspective, because he wants one of the fields to be an exact replica of Citi Field. Hey, we're going to play 81 games at Citi Field. One of these fields needs to be that. So when we practice a relay play or anything in that, it will be just like it is 81 times and we'll have some advantage at home. You know, again, he is looking to squeeze wins, as all managers are. I just think that as opposed to most managers, I don't want to downgrade other managers, it's just how his brain works. I'll give you an example. I told the guy who runs the Met facility, hey, you're going to see the field in a different way. And Paul Taglieri had worked there since 1999. He's like, did this. And then when we were done, he went, man, you're right. You know, because Buck just, you know, he cares about every small detail. You know, what's the shortest distance from the clubhouse to a stretching area? How's the lighting in the weight room? You know, he just cares about it all because he thinks that there's wins there over the course of a season.
You know, it was a fascinating read, and because you've known Buck longer than I have, I can't speak for Bill. I'm curious where you think he's evolved, because one of the lines in your story, and it came from Buck himself, is when you talked about some of the trappings around his career that have said he's a bit of a control freak. Look, he authored a code of conduct manual when he went to manage the Diamondbacks, and he was hired a year before they even took the field, so he had a lot of time to do things like that. He had somebody paint the railings in Maryvale because he didn't like the color that was reflecting. That wasn't even his ballpark. So, yes, he puts his hands on a lot of things. But he said in your piece, sometimes I can be a bit much. Is that Buck acknowledging that maybe he could step back and still be as effective, or do you expect the same character to manage the Mets as to the one that managed the Diamondbacks?
I think 90%. And look, again, what kind of personality are you? I could sit and listen to Buck do that forever, and it would never bother me because I love details. Does it wear on other people? I imagine it does, especially if they think he's crossed the line. I think if you take it with the grain that he's just trying to find wins for your organization, it kind of works. I will say this. He read a profile of Shaquille O'Neal on the flight down in a magazine. And Shaquille O'Neal made reference in it, in the magazine, to how many more summers do I have left? Meaning, how many more summers do I have where I have energy and enthusiasm, vibrancy, etc., to do the things I want to do? And Buck circled it. He showed it to me. And he said, I'm thinking about this now. How many more summers do I have to manage a team? He's 65. And I think it was his way of saying, I know the difference between details I should sweat and details I shouldn't sweat. And when there's a detail he should sweat, I think he's going to be Buck Showalter. And I think when he sees there's a detail he shouldn't sweat, and maybe he did in the past, I think he's more likely to let that one roll off his back.
Very insightful, as is the piece. And part 2 is to come in tomorrow's New York Post. You can read it online, of course. Joel Sherman with us on a Wednesday. Joel, thanks.